Good evening, everybody. It's good to see everyone at a packed school board meeting. This is unusual, but I'm thankful that everybody's here tonight. We have a quorum, so we'll get started. I will ask Randy Hensley, Coalition for Kids, to lead us in the prayer. The pledge. Hey, I would love for it to. I'm just used to doing that. I'm used to saying that on Sunday mornings.
That's everybody join together.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So first thing on our agenda tonight is our consent items, and we'll be looking first at our minutes from the July 1st regular board meeting. And we'll also look at the minutes of the July 30th called board meeting. Then we have our financial reports. And then we have our surplus and obsolete items, and those are from the technology department at Tennessee High School, and a couple of things from the middle school. Do I have a motion? A second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Penny, if you'll call the roll.
Ms. Henson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Butcher?
Yes.
Secretary Darnell?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Chair Cuddy?
Yes. So next on our agenda is a special recognition that we have tonight, and I would like to turn everything over to Dr. Gary Lilly, and he'll take us the rest of the way.
Well, good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for having me this evening. This is a particular honor for me. I have been looking forward to this. Of course, I got my start in Bristol over 30 years ago now. Both of my children graduated from this great district, and now my daughter teaches here. So Bristol has always and will always continue to have a special place in my heart. So I am now currently the executive director of the Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents, or everyone just calls us TOSS. And we advocate for superintendents and public school districts in a variety of ways. We have different member services. We offer professional development and, of course, legislative advocacy. However, I am not here this afternoon to talk about me. I am here to talk about your wonderful Director of Schools, Dr. Annette Tudor. Dr. Tudor is respected throughout our state as an excellent leader. Her colleagues know that she has a steady disposition, she's very reasoned, and that what she says is well thought out and always for the benefit of students. I appreciate Dr. Tudor's close collaboration not only with the First Region, but also with TOSS. She has encouraged and participated in legislative advocacy on a number of items, including to provide some needed flexibility to attract and retain CTE teachers, to make it tougher for stores to sell vapes to children, among other things. And we saw significant headway on both of those items. So thank you for your advocacy there. Dr. Tudor's counterparts in the First Region and really across the state listen when she speaks. They value her experience, her judgment, and her advice. So it's my honor and privilege to be here to let you know that Superintendent Annette Tudor has been selected as the First Region Superintendent of the Year. Okay, but I'm not done. So you can obviously tell my admiration and respect for Dr. Tudor, but I want you to know I had nothing to do with this nomination. Instead, she was selected by her peers in the First Region, and I think that's even more special. So to let you know, the criteria that is used to select the Superintendent of the Year is leadership for learning, communication, professionalism, and community involvement. And in a moment, I'm going to present a plaque, and you're going to see that it says 2026 on it. And that's because the Regional Superintendents of the Year roll up at the conference in Gatlinburg in September. A Tennessee Superintendent of the Year is selected, and then that candidate goes on to the National process at AASA, which happens to be in Nashville this year. It circulates around the country, but this year it's in Nashville. But Dr. Tudor, thank you for your leadership and your service, not only to Bristol and Tulsa, but throughout Tennessee. And best of luck as you continue through the process.
I think she needs to have it by herself.
Okay. All right, that was, means a lot for our district to have Dr. Tudor recognized for the great superintendent that she is. Before we go on, how many are here from Mr. Cross's class? Okay. Whoa. Thank you for coming for the annual Andrew Cross School Board meeting. So, you chose a good one tonight.
Y'all missed the 4-hour meeting that some of your classmates went to.
Exactly. Yes, those two classmates
Yes,
get the award for
they
staying
did.
for 4 hours. Next on the agenda is our hearing of delegates. Tonight, we have the Accelerated Learning and Data Analysis Director, Kelly Campbell, will present an update on our summer stream camp and our extended learning programs. So I'll turn it over to you, Kelly.
Well, thank you so much for having us. I've brought a team with me tonight to hopefully introduce some of the folks behind the scenes to you. We're going to keep the positive rolling tonight with the wonderful things that are happening. I get the privilege to support the work that happens outside of the regular classroom, and so I want to share that with you this evening and give you some highlights from the 24-25 school year. We had a great year last year. If you're wondering what in the world is accelerated learning, it's any opportunity for our kiddos to grow that happens outside of that general classroom setting. So that could be before school programming, after school programming, intervention instruction, summer school. All those fun things live in that accelerated learning wheelhouse. And I'll give a little update on each one of those things just so you can see where we were last school year. And looking at accelerating instruction, so that's our intervention, tutoring and intervention, we were able to serve 782 students last school year. That's a significant impact that we were able to make on academic programming. 357 of those came from tutoring, and 425 of those came from response to instruction and intervention. And I always like to answer that question, well, how did that work out for us? It worked out very well for us last year. As you can see, our kiddos in reading showed a 14.5 percentile point gain on their Ames Web composite score. And for math, we had a 7.6 percentile point gain on Ames Web. And those particular gains can move a student completely out of the at-risk category. We had several of our kiddos that moved from non-proficient on the TCAP to proficient on TCAP that participated in these programs. So we had a great year last year for those participating in this kind of instruction. Some things to highlight from that. More of our kiddos are getting access to that high dosage, low ratio tutoring program and the model of instruction. And that particular model is becoming a point of interest really across the nation. And Bristol was one of the very first districts to start implementing that program, and we have participated in several opportunities to share with other districts about how high dosage, low ratio tutoring can be done and done well. So I'm very excited to be part of that work and see what our teachers do on a daily basis. We're also fortunate this year we have all of our instructors that work in that programming that are able to come together and align their efforts on those in-service days and really try to focus on honing our craft together. So I'm excited that that work is continuing. And then also, we're now getting those instructors as part of those regular PLC instructional cycles. So now we have very tight alignment between what's happening in the regular classroom, what's happening in our intervention programming, and you'll hear in just a second we're even transitioning that over into our after school and before school programming. So we're starting to get a very cohesive model of instruction for our kiddos in Bristol. This is something new to us. I wanted to point out this year, I'm sure you've heard that we have transitioned to doing Ames Web instruction, or Ames Web assessments from kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade. And so when we made this transition, we were all thinking, oh my goodness, how are we going to possibly administer a one-on-one assessment to 900 middle school children? How is that even going to be possible? Well, in true Bristol fashion, our district showed up and all of our elementary intervention instructors came to the middle school this week or last week and administered Ames Web. So you can see our elementary teachers, they're working with our middle school students. And we thought that, you know, accomplishing the task of assessment was going to be one of the great things that came out of that day, but actually to see the faces of those middle school kiddos when they saw their former elementary teachers was a pretty special moment. They would stand in the line and they would say, can I have Mr. Teaster? Can I go see Miss Witcher? Can I see Miss Cox? Can I see, ooh, that was my second grade teacher. It was really fun to see the kiddos' reactions to seeing their elementary teachers again. So not only did we accomplish the task of getting the assessment given, we also were able to share a little love with all of our middle school kiddos too. So that was exciting and new for us. Okay, before and after school programming, typically you've probably heard this called LEAP, and it's our morning and afternoon programming that we have available, and also a little bit in the summer. But elementary was able to serve 486 children before and after school last year. And then in middle school and high school, we were able to serve 314 students. So those children were able to have somewhere safe to go after school. We make sure everybody gets that third meal with our school nutrition department that supports us through that project. And we've seen some great things come out of LEAP. So I wanted to share a few of these photos with you to see kind of a glimpse into what happens in afternoon LEAP programming. We feed everybody. The little guy in the second picture shows us that. We also do some academic work, as you can see the ladies there working. But then also, we have a lot of fun in after school LEAP too. So you can see there are several of the STEM projects that the kiddos have done. We have a healthy after schools initiative that we do at all of our programs. So they get experience in archery, golf, and pickleball. Thank you. Pickleball is our other one. So these are some of the things that our kiddos might not get to experience on a regular basis, but they are able to experience at least a little bit in the after-school programming with us. And then the last picture there was an opportunity that some of our kiddos got to experience yoga at the elementary level, and they loved it. So that's something that we hope to continue and maybe expand into the future with LEAP. We're very fortunate that we have partnered with Coalition for Kids for our afternoon elementary programming, and they do so much for us even beyond just what we contract to do with them. And this is one of those events. It was Shopping for Others, and you might recognize some of those faces in those pictures that went to Walmart and helped shop for others and provide Christmas for several of our children in Bristol. So it's an exciting partnership that we have, and the partnership will continue into this year. And also they are, especially Randy, and I have him here with me tonight, are big advocates of after-school programming, and he has spent a lot of time advocating for us in Nashville to get funding for after-school and outside-of-school programming so we can expand on what we've already done. He's done a ton of work to advocate for us there. Also, just to point out, morning services at Tennessee High were successful this year with ACT prep and some extra homework help. We plan to continue that this year. And then just to give you a little piece of data, because I love the data, I always want to know if that's working out for me or not. I particularly ran some data for C4K for elementary LEAP, and those kiddos gained, on average, almost 15 percentile points on their Ames Web Reading Screener, and then 15 points on their math screener as well. So we're seeing an academic impact from those services, as well as having a safe place to be and strengthening that social emotional connection for our kiddos. I did want to introduce both of these friends to you guys if you don't care to stand. This is Randy. He led us in the pledge. He's our executive director for Coalition. And this is Amy Strickland. She's the regional director for Coalition. So thank you so much, you guys. I wanted you all to be able to put a face with a name. They do a lot to help us. And really, Coalition pours a lot more into our kiddos and programming than we actually get in LEAP. They do a lot more for us than you might see on the surface. Okay, we'll move to summer programming. With summer programming, we support incoming kindergarten kiddos all the way through seniors in high school in the summer. And TMS and elementary usually focus on exploration or some kind of STEM-related theme, as well as academics and things like that. And then our high school focuses on credit recovery opportunities. This summer, we were able to serve in elementary an average of 247 students each day. So if I walked into Fairmount, that's about how many kids I would see each day of programming. In the middle school, we averaged 94 kiddos each day. And then in the high school, we were able to serve 69 students. So those students will work until they've recovered those credits that they need to graduate, and then they will transition away from the program. So that's why their numbers look a little different than the elementary in the middle. So no students were retained due to the promotion retention law in third grade again this year, which is a positive for us and a big impact for our kiddos. We had 77 credits at the high school that were able to be recovered, and there were 103 staff members that made summer programming happen. So our people really showed up to support us in summer programming. And I did want to recognize some of those that are here tonight. I brought our administrators with me from summer programming. So if you were an administrator for summer programming, if you would stand and let them see you. This is Jason Cross. He was at the middle school. And this is Beth Light for the elementary. And Carlinda Shaw is not standing, but she is right here. She was an administrator at our middle school programming. We just had a lot of support from our faculty and staff, in addition to all of our regular 12-month employees. Maintenance really helps us, school nutrition, admin staff, everybody works together to make summer school possible. They start planning in January and work diligently all the way through summer programming to make that happen. Also, we were able to continue our all sports day at the high school for our kids, and we had success in year 2 of that. This is just some pictures from our summer programming so you can see what our kiddos are doing. You'll see some STEM activities. We were able to visit Appalachian Caverns with our kids. And also, these are some pictures from All Sports Day. Our kiddos absolutely love to go play with the high school kids and their coaches. And we know this is something that they don't have to do, that they choose to do, and we greatly appreciate our high school folks for helping our kiddos experience some sports that they may have never experienced before. Also, our middle school, there's a STEM project in the middle, but on either end, those are photos from TCAT. So our middle school got to visit TCAT and see all the programs that they have available as possible career options beyond high school. And here's some more of the STEM projects. I think our middle schoolers have had some fun this summer in STEM. So finally, I just want to thank you for allowing us the opportunity to work with our kiddos outside of the regular classroom. There's a lot of relationship building that happens during these outside school hour programs, but also a lot of academic growth as well. So I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to expand on this programming and really support our kiddos. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Thank you. Next on our agenda are comments from the public. Do we have anybody today? Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so when I call your name, if you'll go to the podium where we have the microphone, if you'll just state your name and the reason for you being here to speak, we will listen to your remarks, and we limit those remarks to 5 minutes. So first on the list is Jill Harrison.
I may not be coordinated enough to hold it and speak to you at the same time, so if I drop it, please don't hold it against me. I'm appearing tonight to ask the school board to vote no to the resolution accepting the Melrose Street facility and a conveyance from the City of Bristol, Tennessee City Council. Before addressing that issue, I want to commend the school board for asking City Council to put the agreement regarding Todd Houston in writing. I understand City Council was affronted by the request. That is a best business practice. It is also an exercise of your fiduciary duty as a board member to do so. So I commend you for that. And I will say that my own personal past history has showed me I should have asked to put it in writing with the City Council. With regard to the resolution, I'm going to speak quickly, so if you need me to stop, I'll go forward. The resolution states that the transfer of the building would be at no cost to the schools. My understanding is that the minimum rehab costs that have been estimated at this point in time are a 7-figure number. So while you may not be writing a check to hand over to the city for the building, you will be spending money. There will be cost incurred. In 2022, when this building was first purchased, it was partially in the flood zone. Since that time, a new flood survey has been accomplished. That entire building and that entire property is now in the flood zone. So on top of the rehab cost that you're going to have to spend, you will also have to obtain flood insurance. That is an expense on top of your regular property liability coverage, as well as your damage casualty. And Mr. Taylor probably knows the terms a whole lot better than I do. So please forgive me if I didn't use the right terms. That's just my experience. I personally saw the results of floodwaters that took over the bottom part of the building. With a daughter in softball and a son who was playing basketball and travel ball, we were there quite a bit over time. Elizabeth graduated in 2017 from Tennessee High and John in 2019. So the floods have been going on in the bottom part of that building. Equipment was ruined, the artificial grass was destroyed, flood mud was in the bottom of the building. They were having to sweep it out. Team members were helping to do that. They also missed a lot of practice time because the facilities were not able to be used. I'd like to know if and I know you don't answer, and that's perfectly fine, but if the city has provided environmental assessment that they might have done for the building in order for you to know if over time mold and mildew has accumulated in the walls. Once you start taking down walls, you most of the time run into a big surprise that may not be accounted for in the remediation costs that you've been provided with. That's an issue that I'm sure you know has to be immediately addressed, because otherwise you have students in adverse conditions where their health might be affected, and you'll essentially be shut down and can't use it. Parking is also a huge issue for that building. Again, personal experience. Entering, leaving the building is extremely tight, next to no space to turn around. I anticipate you would have your small yellow travel buses traveling to the schools in order to come there. You're also going to have student drivers, some brand new, some maybe a year, driving, that are going to be trying to get in and out of there at various times with parents coming in to get in and out, besides the limited parking that's there. On the issue of accessibility, as some of us ran into whenever the Stone Castle project was being done, a huge part of the project that was spent that went from $1 million to, after I left, I think almost $3 million, which is exactly what I predicted before I left school board. A huge part of that was ADA accessibility. So I would ask that that information be shared with new members on the board that weren't there when that happened. I can't remember exactly how it was put, but the free building sounds great when you say, oh, it's $44 a square foot for this building. Well, $44 a square foot does not take into a number of factors. One is you're going to spend 3 to 4 times that amount per square foot on your rehab expenses, and you're not going to be able to use the entire building. It's not just about having 30 to 30,000 square feet. You have to look at the usable square feet in a building. That building is not entirely usable. So referring to that square footage is not relevant for this discussion. The bigger picture above and beyond that is the roughly $2 million that you probably would be spending on rehab cost will benefit basically 4 areas of athletics for it to have a practice facility. All needed. I do not dispute that at all. It was needed when I was there, and we couldn't make it happen because of cost constraints. But my question is, at this point in time, given budget restraints, cuts in funding, is the right time to spend $2 million that won't benefit the entire system? I don't think it's fair to have the school system, the staff, and the students bear that cost when it's only for a very limited purpose.
Thank you. Any questions from anybody on the board?
Well, just comments. Thank you, Jill. I really respect your work as a school board member, and I know you just do your due diligence, and that's what you do. I'm particularly interested in the ADA, not the ADA accessibility, but the safety concerns, particularly with potential mold and stuff like that. What does it take to, find out where your buildings are as regards to mold or things like that would impact kids?
Well, speaking from my experience,
Yes.
From being in-house counsel and then when I was in private practice, we would hire a consultant who specifically, that was their job, was to go in and they would test for everything from asbestos in the ceiling tile and the floor tile to looking, in some areas behind the drywall to see if there was mold and mildew, particularly in areas that you knew had flooded. I don't think this facility would have underground storage tanks, and I don't remember seeing an above-ground storage tank. So I don't think that necessarily is going to be an issue. But those are the specific areas. They look in your vent ducts to see what you have within your ventilation system. They run tests on the spores and the mildew and the products that you would find in the ventilation system and the filters there to determine if they found anything that could be considered something that would need immediate remediation, or if you might have time to address it.
Follow-up question. In your experience, if this were happening, just in the regular business world, would the persons who were selling or buying the property be responsible for this kind of?
You would negotiate that in the contract, but in this situation, since it's being put to you, as opposed to with any contingencies, then I would say you will be responsible for that cost. And I want to point out, Ms. Akerd was not on the city council in 2022 when this decision was made, so I want y'all to know.
Thank you.
As city council representative, she was not a part of that decision.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Jill.
All right, thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. I was trying to say, may I please the court, and I thought that.
That's okay. I've already asked for prayer. So. Next is Scott Ball.
Good evening, Chair Cuddy and members of the board. My name is Scott Ball. I'm a Bristol resident, a parent to 2 BTCS students, and the husband of an educator. Just want to take a moment to thank you for your leadership and for the work that you do on behalf of our students and families. I'm here tonight simply to express my support for this elected board and the important role that you play in governing our schools. In response to the City Council's intention to amend the city charter and to take more control over the education of our children, I created a petition on change.org aimed at asking our local state legislators not to submit the necessary legislation in the General Assembly to enact these charter changes. Since last Thursday evening, we're just shy of 400 residents that have signed this petition, affirming that school governance should remain with the elected school board, not shifted to the City Council in any way to any degree. We are continuing to gather signatures, and I have the goal of hopefully reaching 1,000 signatures to demonstrate strong community support to our legislators. Subsidiarity is important in governance. Those closest to the issue should have the control and the responsibility to manage it. If I have a disagreement with this or a future board, I should never have to wonder who to hold accountable. Is it the board, or is it the city council, or some employee somewhere else? BTCS is and should remain the responsibility of the school board, responsible and accountable to the parents and the voters of this community. So tonight, I just wanted to come here simply to say, I support you. We in the community support you, and we want you to continue leading our schools. I would also encourage the board to consider adopting your own resolution, reaffirming your authority, and inviting structured community input, as I believe Mr. Butcher suggested, and inviting community support as this issue moves toward the legislature. So thank you so much for your time, and I sincerely want to thank you for serving Bristol's students.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. Okay, next on our agenda is old business. First is policies on second reading. If you remember from last month, due to a lot of the legislative changes from the last session, there were a slew of policy updates, so over 30, so I won't go through every one of them. So do I have a motion for second reading?
So moved.
I heard one.
Okay.
Second?
A second.
There you go. Any discussion? Hearing none, Penny, if you'll call the roll.
Secretary Darnell,
Yes.
Vice Chair Butcher,
Yes.
Chair Cuddy,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Ms. Henson.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is our new business. First tonight is policies on first reading. Dr. Tudor is recommending board approval of the following policies on first reading. Policy 4.6, which is our grading systems, and policy 5.2, which is separation practices for tenured teachers. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept these policies on first reading.
Second.
I second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Penny?
Vice Chair Butcher,
Yes.
Ms. Henson,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Secretary Darnell,
Yes.
Chair Cuddy.
Yes. Next is our IDA Partnership for Systematic Change. Dr. Tudor is recommending the IDA Partnership for Systematic Change K through 12 application. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Penny?
Chair Cuddy,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Secretary Darnell,
Yes.
Ms. Henson,
Yes.
Vice Chair Butcher.
Yes.
Next is our Coalition for Kids agreement. Dr. Tudor is recommending board approval of the Coalition for Kids agreement for this current school year. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Second.
A second.
Any discussion? I'll just again thank Randy for all you guys are doing. Those hours before school and after school are critical hours for our students. Those are hours that many of those students are either left at home by themselves because their parents are still having to work. So thank you for all you're doing, and it's an honor to be in partnership with you all.
Thank you.
Penny, if you'll call the roll.
Secretary Darnell,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Butcher,
Yes.
Ms. Henson,
Yes.
Chair Cuddy.
Yes. So before I go to this next one, I always pause to tell all the students, so you're hearing us go through these new business motions, just, not any talk, any discussion. So we do all of our discussing at our work session, which was held Thursday night, and 2 of your cohorts were there, and they were lucky enough that it was one that started at 6 o'clock and we didn't leave till 10:30. And so we go over all these policies, all these resolutions, we go through them in detail. And then when we get here for our board meetings, it's sort of just, we get through them because we've already discussed them. So I do want you to know that we take all of this very serious, and we're just not up here approving things left and right. Next is resolution of Melrose Street property. Dr. Tudor is recommending board approval of the Melrose Street property resolution. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
A second.
Mr. Chairman, before discussion, I'd like to move to postpone this agenda item to a later meeting, either at a special call meeting prior to August the 31st or at the next regularly scheduled school board meeting on September the 15th, in order to give this board more time to do due diligence on this very big project.
So we have had a motion to amend the original motion. So Penny, you're going to have to help me here. So I'm going to call for the motion for this new amended, correct?
Yes.
And we're voting on Coach Butcher's amended motion?
That is correct. If it's an amendment to the main motion, yes.
Okay.
If you feel like that Mr. Taylor's, if you feel like it's not an amendment to the main motion, then you need to vote on the main motion first.
It is a subsidiary motion,
Okay.
which I don't think is an amendment, but it's a call for action on this particular motion I just made.
Okay. Then we would vote on that if there's a second.
Okay. So motion has been made by Vice Chair Butcher. Do I have a second on his motion?
I'll second Mr. Butcher's motion.
Is there any discussion?
I guess I would start by saying I don't see the benefit of it. There's no money changing hands, and if we decide not to use the building, it goes directly back to the city.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the built-in due diligence. We don't have to spend a penny on the building, but we can hold the ownership. And maybe delaying the transfer till after our next meeting, maybe would be appropriate, but we've got the offer of a meeting, of the building, and we don't have to spend any money on it. We could hold it, not use it, and it transfers back to the city per their resolution.
Further discussion, I believe that there's a great deal of money that may or may not be spent on this project. And I personally, it's very important that we're spending millions of dollars. And it's very important that I feel like that we have looked at all the possibilities. Do we even need to do it? How do we need to do it? What's the best use for our students? It is not a free building. I'm very suspect about, the deeding and the whole 9 yards, but that's really beside the point. I just personally need to have more information. I don't think we got a lot of information in a work session, but I'm just listening to folks. Not only Ms. Harrison, thank you, but in the community that I've listened to. It's not it's something that we really need to make sure this is how we want to proceed, and this is best for our students. And that's why I would like to study it further before we pass it.
And I'll just say, since Thursday night, I've had more time to think. And as the 5 of you all know, I have never been in support of Melrose. But, I want to do what's best for our student athletes. I want to do what's best for our district. However, I still just don't feel like we have enough information. And I understand what you're saying, Charlie, but if we go ahead and approve the resolution and pretty much telling the city, yes, we want the building, but then we decide not to use it, I think that's still just a lot of gray area that we still have, so I would rather, before any type of decision is made quickly, I've had a couple of parents over the weekend reach out to me about Melrose, and I figured we would. I figured this would be a hot topic because it's a very hot topic in our community right now, whether it's the city or whether it's the school board. And so I just think we need more time, and I'm just, so that's just where I'm at on it. Anybody else?
I guess I will say I have a concern about our need for something soon. And I do trust Mr. Rutherford's diligent research and plans for being able to use it and get our wrestlers in there. So if we feel like we have time for that I felt like that was a big push. And that one level, my understanding was that the top level, which is where our wrestlers would be, is ready to go now.
And I do agree what Ms. Harrison said earlier is that we do know there are issues with that building. There's no question. And we have to mitigate and then air samples be done, things of that nature. But it's just not something we can do until we get in there. And I understand the more time. I feel like, again, Kurt's put 2 months into doing his due diligence, and I didn't get that there was an issue. Now, I do understand the concern because you're right. It's a 7-figure renovation, no question. But at $300 a square foot to build a new building that we got, $295 to build a new building, I feel like outside of having to tear it down and start up from the beginning, we're going to be more square footage for more programming, for more sports than we can ever build right now. And I just don't think time's going to change that.
Well, but in years to come, right now, I'm only hearing that it's for one sport. We're still not solving the problem of the other problems that we have, whether it's with the baseball and the softball and the indoor facilities, and so forth. So we're saying we're going to put a ton of money into a building for right now for really just one sport that does, so it doesn't meet the needs. I guess what I'm saying, we need more time so we can look at everything. Is Melrose the best decision? Is it best just to look for property to lease for the wrestling team? I want to move careful on this. I want to make sure that we are being as fiscally responsible as we can be. Because right now in our community, people are gunning for anything we do or city council does. And so I want this board to be known as fiscally responsible. And so I think we just need to just check everything, and listen, I'm not saying anything about Kurt. Kurt knows how I feel about the job that he does, and I agree. Everything that he has brought to us so far, I can trust to the ends of the earth, you know. But I just want to make sure this is what we really want to do. That's a lot of money, you know. And you sort of made that comment on Thursday night.
We're spending a lot of money on sports right now.
Exactly,
We've
and
got
so
other facilities that need a lot of work.
We have just got to be as fiscally responsible as we can be, you know, so that we can continue. We can't proclaim to be good stewards of what we have and then make a rash decision that at the end of the day will make us look as foolish as others. And so I'm not saying that Melrose isn't the ultimate decision, but I think we just, you know, an hour and a half discussion on Thursday night, to me, just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me to be settled to make a legitimate decision tonight. And I know we've been put on a time constraint from the city. I know the city has given us an X date that we have to have an answer to them. And I think we can have that answer to them. But I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing, because it affects, it not only does it affect our student athletes, our students, our district, but it also affects the community. You know, and so I want to make sure that we are listening to the community, and we're not just hearing them and doing what we want to do, but we're listening to what they're trying to say to us, and also do what's best for our school system. Anybody else before I call the roll? Okay, Penny?
Okay, to clarify, you're voting on a motion to move a vote on the resolution to a later meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Taylor?
No.
Secretary Darnell?
Yes.
Vice Chair Butcher?
Yes.
Ms. Henson?
No.
Chair Cuddy?
Yes. Okay. Next on our agenda is a report from Dr. Tucker.
Thank you. I'm going to try to do this without crying. Here I go. People in the room who know me the best know that I was going to cry about this, so here we go. I just need to say thank you. I wish Dr. Woodley was still here. He was my mentor. He hired me and showed me how to do this, and sometimes I don't do it very well at all, but what I do well, I learned from him, certainly. I'd also like to thank my husband, who's trying to be in a corner in a round room. Who, gosh, he puts up with so much stuff and so much stress, so thank you for always supporting me. But really, what I want to say mostly is this is really not about me. It's about the people in this room and these young people right here. That's why we do what we do. And I certainly would not have this recognition if it weren't for the amazing students and staff and community members that we have in the school district. We are afforded with the absolute best, and I am grateful to be a part of it every day and to serve these students. That's why I do what I do, and these people just make me look good. They're the rock stars, the administrators in the room, the principals, the teachers, people in this room who came to support me. You all are the reason that we are getting this recognition, and I hope it carries us well. What I really hope most of all, though, is that we have a Teacher of the Year on Friday that we can celebrate. I think we have amazing things in the school district, so thank you all for that. Okay, now I'm going to the things that I really wrote down to say. Thank you, Kelly Campbell, for your leadership in all things related to accelerated learning. If you all don't know Ms. Campbell, she's amazing at what she does. I heard her say we had 103 staff members who did summer school. That's amazing. We don't have 10 months of school anymore. We literally have 11 almost year-round school because of how robust our summer programming is. So We take that very seriously, and we are grateful for the opportunities that we can provide kids, feeding them, before and after programming, all the things are reasons why they are successful. A couple of celebrations. I'd like to say congratulations to Brad Goodman, CTE teacher at Tennessee High School, and Lori Givney. Ms. Givney was recognized as Tennessee Association of Career Technical Education Mentor Teacher of the Year, and Mr. Goodman was recognized as Post-Secondary Teacher of the Year this summer, so they missed our information, and I'm going to talk about her in just a minute. I know, she wants her day.
Yeah, really.
Also want to note that Tennessee High School students this summer took first and second place at Business Battle for CTE. 8 of 10 students placed in the top 5 at the state Future Business Leaders of America, which is FBLA competition, and 2 students went to California, Anaheim, California, for the FBLA Leadership Conference. So those are amazing accomplishments for our students. Now, welcome to our newest therapy dog. This is Dolly. She's precious.
Yeah.
She will be Tennessee High School's therapy dog, and students and staff named her Dolly, and she is sponsored by Friendship Enterprises. So we are super excited that she's our 3rd therapy dog. Obviously, she has a lot of training to do before she'll be ready, but she's, I think she's probably 10 weeks old roughly now, 10 weeks old. So she'll go to training when she's 12 weeks old, and then she's not official until she's a year old, but we're excited to have her. We are on our way to having a school in every building, so that's our goal by the time I leave this job. And then just one more announcement. We have the 2025 Hall of Fame induction that's coming up, Athletic Hall of Fame induction coming up on September 7th at 3 p.m. Our inductees are on our website. Folks can see that at the athletic website. Ceremony includes inductions of athletes from Slater High School and Tennessee High School, and the public is invited to that. Last year was our inaugural class. This is our 2nd class, and we're super excited about being able to recognize our tradition of excellence in athletics in our school system. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next is comments from our city council liaison. Ray, I'll turn that over to you.
Thank you. This is such an exciting night. First Dolly. Got to see Dr. Lilly, which was great to see him. And congratulations, Dr. Tudor. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm very proud of you. A couple of things. Tomorrow is Coffee with the Chief. He kind of meets in the community, all sorts of different areas, usually once a month or so at Whimsicles tomorrow. So I know most of you are going to be in school or teaching, but if y'all haven't tried Whimsicles yet, they have delicious waffles. It's great. It's a great little coffee shop. Next, this Saturday, we have Field Day Frenzy at Friendship Park from 11 to 2. It is flag football games, face painting, treats, and fun for the whole family if anybody wants to go out to that. Also want to say thank you, school board and staff, for welcoming me Thursday night for the work session. I am slightly disappointed about Melrose, but we'll keep on talking and see what we come to. And I also just want to say shout out to Ms. Cross's class. It's a huge turnout. And I'm proud of y'all for showing up, and just make sure and tell him Mrs. Akers said hello and to keep up good work. So that, I think, is all I have. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Anybody?
It was really nice having you.
Thank you.
To bounce questions off and come back.
Yes.
So we hope that can be a regular thing.
Yes, I mean, 4 hours, if y'all could just dial that down a little bit, that'd be great.
Eric can be long one.
I don't stay up past 9, but, you know, I'll have to bring my whistle next time.
Yeah, please do.
No more questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next comments from the board.
I just want to say the state of Tennessee is finding out what we already knew, and that's that we have an official, wonderful leader in our school system. And we're proud of you. We're grateful for you. And we wish you all the best in the upcoming votes.
You stole everything I wanted to say, because you're so selfless. I mean, giving everybody the credit other than yourself and all the team. It is very important. But you're an all-state leader, and there's no doubt about it. We're so happy to have you, and just thank you for what you do. And David, thank you for being the support that you need to be. I know she can be trying at times.
I think you've heard me tell this story to you many a times, but the first time that Dr. Tudor and I met, I'd just been elected, and so Dr. Lilly took me to lunch, and Annette was there, and I didn't like her at first, just because she's a lot like me. We're just sort of quiet, and well, yeah. Until you put a mic on me, then I'm ready to go. Introverted, but over these past 6 years, we've had to go to battle a lot with each other against a lot of different things, and so I'm thankful for the job that you're doing. My word of the year this year has been distractions, and through all the distractions, you have continued to lead our district the very best to your ability, and I do believe that you were called to be a superintendent, and so no surprise to me that you've been given this honor. And so again, very thankful that you're here in Bristol, where you need to stay until one day you do decide to retire. So whenever that may be. School's starting well. I've talked to a couple teachers, and so everybody seems to be going good. We had this little fire drill this morning that was unexpected, so I heard about that. I think our first football game is next Friday over across the highway there. So you all get out for that. It's going to be a good year. Hang in there. A lot of distractions, a lot of noise out there, but know that we're doing our very best to take care of this school system. So our next meeting is September 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We're adjourned.